In 3, 2, 1. All right, shut up just for a second. Something I have to say real quick is just, and actually something I've been thinking about a lot too lately, actually my whole life. If you can't do a standing backflip, which I personally cannot do that, and honestly have never really tried, the bottom line is we're only getting older, and you're literally not going to have as many chances as you think. So don't hit that plateau where you're just never going to try it again. Go out and do what needs to happen to do that. But I didn't tell you that. So if something goes wrong, we're really not liable. But something I've been thinking of, something I want you to be thinking of, and something else I'd like you to be thinking of is the fact that right now, let's start the Disney Pod Classics. This is episode 3, I believe.
Correct.
I don't even know what to say about this movie, really, but we're doing Fantasia. Well, first off, I'm your host, Harrison. With me, as always, is my best friend, Jay. Jay, go ahead and say hello. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm excited and scared all at the same time to discuss Fantasia. And it's the movie. It's not the singer that was on American Idol for a brief stint.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Deep callback.
Do you remember her?
I do, with the short
I can't believe how many Google searches in the last 48 hours came up with her. It's like, are we serious
Holy
that the
crap.
SEO is preferring
She's
the singer
dominating
versus
the net.
the movie?
Dominating the net. What we do here is me and Jay grew up watching all the Disney films, or as many as we were allowed to. It shaped us to be the humans we are today, and here we are 29 years later. We've gone through so much together. We went to college, roomed together, and would stay up till 3, 4, 5 a.m. sometimes talking about Disney lore and Disney top fives and characters. And it's, enough's enough. So it's time for us to do it formally. We're going from the beginning to the end. Started off with number 1, Snow White. Will end where we end, where Disney ends. Maybe never, hopefully never. But right now we're at number 3, 1940, Fantasia. And what a film this is to talk about. Me and Jay are both incredibly, intensely intimidated.
Sweating profusely.
We were talking about Pinocchio last time being the longest film that Disney had done so far. And this really smacks that over its wooden head with a whopping 2 hours of, you could call it nonsense. You could call it, enlightenment. You could call it a spiritual journey. You could call it, what the fuck am I watching? But you have to call it Fantasia. Jay, let's get into a little bit. Tell me what this was like for you as a child.
Yeah, so this movie I never watched as a child. And just from going to the Disney parks and being a huge Disney fan, I knew the Mickey Mouse hat and I knew it was from Fantasia. So I just assumed Fantasia was all about Mickey.
Oh,
And that's
in
what
a
the whole
world,
movie
can you believe?
was about, and just leading up to the excitement when I did end up watching Fantasia for the first time in college. And I was on a flight my friend had downloaded illegally, actually.
Whoa, you narc, dude. Don't
Yeah,
say that. What was the
download.
friend's
Yeah, it was
name?
before Disney Plus.
What's their
But,
address?
but when I watched it on the plane, I thought that it was the wrong movie. I truly thought the
I'm not
entire
even
thing
surprised.
was The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Oh.
And to find out that, and then Mickey does show up, and you're like, okay, yeah, that was kind of a weird
We made
beginning.
it. Whew.
And it's like 5% of the movie. And so I can't get through that still to this day, how much Mickey is associated with this movie. And he has no playing time in it. And
He is a bench player
I
for
would
sure.
love to see more Mickey in this. And so even as a kid, what I think of it now, I feel like I was bait and switched on this movie.
You were catfished.
Yeah.
Or
What about you?
mouse-fished.
Did you
Nice
watch
one.
this as a kid growing up?
Somehow, I saw Fantasia 2000, I remember, before I ever saw this. I definitely could see it being something that I saw and completely repressed, because this is overwhelming for me as a young man now. I cannot imagine as a young idiot like I was when, in my early days, how I could have ever processed something like this. So, you know what? The jury's out on that one. I think I haven't seen it, but what a journey this was to go through now. There's a lot of reasons
What's
I
the
feel like I
first time you
didn't.
saw it?
I think it had to have been within the past year, maybe even this time, man. In its entirety, I can't promise you that this is something I've ever
Wow.
encountered. But I forget a lot of stuff. So like maybe that's something to be said, is that I forgot this movie if this ever happened to me, and I still can't.
And
It's
that
not
could be
like I
the
remember.
case.
You do see some of the Sorcerer's Apprentice pop up in various places, like Disney ads on the VHSs back in the day.
Yeah.
You'd see like these climactic moments and these like swelling orchestral, big points of music where everything looks like it's the most awesome movie ever. And I'm like, why haven't I seen that? And then now I realize it's exactly like you say, it's barely part of the movie. It's pretty much the trailer to get you in there.
Yeah.
Here's the real question, and obviously we're a bit hyped up now, but did you like this movie this time? This time around now? How'd you feel?
Yeah, I will have to start by saying I respect the hell out of this movie.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And it is incredible, some of the shots that they're able to pull off with the third animated movie, not just Disney at this point.
Yeah,
It is stunning, some of the scenes, how they incorporated the classical music, which I'm a big fan of.
I am
And
too.
again, if you would have told me hey, this is what Disney did. They made beautiful animation and paired classical music with that. Those are two things that I really enjoy.
Mm.
The actual product of it or the enjoyment of watching it, it's too long. Like I was reflecting more on myself. Like, am I so OCD at this point that I can't sit and like really pay attention for 2 hours,
Dude.
like constantly? And that, I'm not sure if anyone is supposed to, but I'll say all of
You've
that.
gotta be supposed to.
The beautiful thing about Fantasia, though, is that there's a little something for everyone in it. Like, there will be some point that it will really, like, knock your socks off.
Yeah, that's true.
But even if
I have to say that's
95% of it, you're just, like, glazed over, something will really pique your interest with Fantasia.
Mm.
And it does hit home more than most Disney movies would. It's just not sustained in the 2 hours.
I think that the way you just put that, where you glaze over, is perfect. That Fantasia glaze, as I would like to refer it to,
Yeah.
it's so real and so powerful. It makes you feel worse about yourself. Like I too love classical music, and I also love Disney films, which is a huge spoiler for everything else I'm about to say on this podcast in general. But these two things together, that formula should make more sense than it does. And then when you get there, you're just like I just felt like my brain flatlined for some of it, and that embarrassed me in the moment during the time that I was watching. I was like, who am I and what's wrong with me? They bit off a lot, but they chewed a lot too. It's just you have to go through that whole process with them. When you say it's fantastic where they are at this time, tell me what you mean by that.
Yeah, so this is the third movie that they created. They started with Snow White, blockbuster hit, and then they went into Pinocchio. And Pinocchio also was released the same year. And in 1940, there was a little thing called World War II. And that hurt the sales.
Heard of that. I've heard of that.
Over in Europe. Yeah.
Hurt sales in a lot of different
There's like a couple books out there you should check out.
No way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, deep dives.
Mm.
And then
guy did his research.
Exactly. So it was not that successful box office wise, but the mark that it made on like Disney has arrived of just how beautiful, like critically acclaimed movie in 1940.
Yeah.
Just not everyone
cup of tea
was as I think a huge part of it was World War II, but can you imagine in 1940, like some of these concepts are so new and mind-blowing that it was a real experience being at the theater. And the conductor mentions this at the beginning, like this is a new form of entertainment that we're about to unleash.
Yeah. What a bossy thing to say. Like,
yeah, but
the Stones, like
it's real though. Blow your mind.
It is backed up in that sense. So it is not by any means my favorite movie, and I won't watch this for at least another 5 years. And I have some ways that Fantasia would really work in the everyday world,
Hmm.
but not sitting and watching it for 2 hours. But I'll touch on those points later.
That is a great point. Like you put it behind like like those like parties that have like music videos playing or something.
All right, all
You
right.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. Okay, I'm just jumping in it now. The use case for Fantasia.
Are you talking about Music Time with Jay off the jump?
No, no, I'm
Oh,
not. I'm not. I'm
God,
not
getting me
ready for that. No,
excited,
my
man.
heart's
Getting me
still beating out of
excited.
its chest.
Let's
So
get it.
the way that Fantasia works, I don't know why, but I kept thinking like Christmas Eve, you have your immediate family and like another close family comes over and their
Sure.
extended family. You got like
Yeah,
10, 15
friends. We
people.
all have them, right?
Exactly. And everyone's interacting, having a great time. Christmas Eve, the holiday season, very festive. And in the background, just like on the TV in the living room, you just have this on mute. And everyone's kind of
Hmm.
talking. Some people are kind of, oh, is that Fantasia? But nothing, no one's like actually sitting down and watching it per se at this point, but just something on in the background. And then as the night starts winding down a bit, and maybe a few people shuffle out to go to other things, and dessert's already been served, people would slowly gravitate and be like, hey, can someone flip the sound on for this?
Yeah. Okay.
And you'd end up watching like the last like 20, 25 minutes all together, and it would be a really nice
Beautiful Christmas.
holiday Fantasia
That
experience.
actually is a really good bill for it. When you first said that, I'm thinking, how would the Fantasia producers feel about you taking the sound away from what they've done? But it's really like a lure, you're bringing people in with just the acute visuals and then making sure that everyone has a determined focus for the last bit of it, which I think is the best personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think there are real life cases for this. Sitting down and watching this in any capacity is tough, I think. And maybe that says more about me than it does about the movie. But
well, can you imagine a kid now
no,
with like an attention span of 6 seconds or whatever the hell it is
no,
now? It's
no.
going down by the day. How long would a kid last watching this? I would watch clips of a kid
I
trying to
would watch,
watch this,
yeah,
of just
100%.
spliced of a bunch of kids that made it like a total of 23
There'd be
seconds.
like records, like 43 minutes. This kid's a serious psycho. Look at him. Let's go over it for the people who haven't watched it. I mean, which honestly, sorry you've had better things to do with your life than watch Fantasia, but also must be nice. Um, you jump in, and it's funny when you said you thought you had the wrong copy, because I thought when I looked it up online, I had like a pirated copy as well, because it comes in and it's just a bunch of people setting up instruments and a music hall. And I'm thinking this is the wrong, or this is like someone who's doing that thing where they film inside the theater.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I got like a live orchestra version of it. But no, that's the movie. They come out, and this guy who looks like, I don't know if I know we've talked about this before, but there's a guy in Willy Wonka named like Slugworth or Slughorn or
Oh yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And he's scary and he's got glasses and he's identical to the guy who comes out in this movie. Do you know who I'm talking about? Do you remember
Yes, I
that?
do.
He comes out and he's got this like creepy confidence, which I don't think I've ever said about anyone before, but he looks like you wouldn't want to see him in an alley by yourself, but he would also be a great person to take to a party and leave by themselves, and he could handle himself. I don't know how to describe that balance, but he's got all those things together. He pretty much says we're about to do a couple things here. We're about to do some things that are definitive images with sound, some things that are just for no reason, and some things that tell a story, and you're just going to like it. And they jump into this weird laser show that just is a bunch of images that go with sound that's supposed to mimic what you feel when you're listening to the music. Then they shift into a completely different thing of Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite, as told by like fairies and different parts of mushrooms and fungus, and all of it. The music is beautiful. I don't feel like we can get too much into it because there's so much here. You know what I mean? Like there's like 7 different chapters here. So if you can roll with me, Jay, let's just go rapid fire on these. What did you think about those first two?
Yeah, very much laser show is
Yeah.
what I thought about.
Yeah. like
Yeah,
Pink
it's
Floyd, Fantasia style.
yes, yeah. No, it's pretty cool seeing like some of the ways that they build into it, and like I said, they had the confidence that they knew the audience in 1940 had never seen anything like this.
Are you
And
feeling this way when you're watching these films? Because now we've gone through a few of them. Do you just wish you could see these animations with the eyes of someone who'd never seen anything like that before? Like I'm playing like Call of Duty and I'm seeing things that look realer than my own hands shoot people and whatnot. Like these people haven't seen anything like that. And I just keep thinking to myself, what does this like? Is this incredible animation? Is this something that no one's ever seen before? Are these graphics something people would talk about at their office the next day?
Do you not just die for that knowledge of just feeding on that kind of imagery?
yes, to
God,
all of that. And
I was born in the wrong time zone.
yeah, time zone. That's it.
I hate
Uh,
people who say that. I can't stand it. I'm like, I wish you were born then too.
yeah, they had a real niche in the market with animation in general, but think about like Pinocchio blew people's minds.
Which,
Like
let's
some of the
stop and
shots.
say, this was the same year as Pinocchio.
Yeah,
This was a side project. These were the
yeah,
same year. You don't see that again for a long time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't
yeah.
know the
No,
next
it's
time.
yeah. I the next time is in the late 70s, I believe. So yeah, it's
Nerd.
yeah, that's quite a bit of time. But no, I mean, what were your thoughts with the intro? Anything?
Dude, that one was just like, you
Yeah,
feel like you're tripping just by watching this. It's like, because I really bought into that whole, this is what you'd think inside your mind if you were listening into a concert hall. You start by focusing on the instruments and stuff, and then you just go into this weird, like trippy. And I was like, I don't have the imagination for this to actually happen in a concert hall for me, but thank you for showing me what I should be feeling.
yep,
It's cool, man. And we will circle back to what you said. How could a kid sit through this? Many times. But
yep.
as an adult, you watch this, you're like, this is dope. I like the music. I like the visuals. It's like a sick symphonic music video, which you don't get often.
No,
What'd you think? Sick or
yeah,
not?
yeah. No, it just blew me away, and it's hard to even recall.
It
Once you
is a lot.
finish this movie, it's hard to
There's
reflect
so
on the
much
beginning
dumped in
of
the
it.
queue
It's
after it.
just
Yeah,
so
it's so
dense.
true. The Nutcracker. I know both you and I are massive fans of the Nutcracker Suite
Yep.
or score, soundtrack, however you go. Do you think that this is the thing that they should be playing on the Nutcracker stage instead of the actual story?
You know, I had that same exact question for you.
Yeah.
I'm still going to prefer the ballet versus this in Fantasia. I think you can do a bit of a combo, though. Why not, when people are arriving to the theater, on to the theater, why don't you
Run, pick and
have,
roll.
yeah, why don't you have them playing the Fantasia scenes as people are sitting down and like
You really
just
billing
getting
the
a nudge?
Fantasia as background ambiance, which I can't argue with. It definitely does
It
make
just
sense.
should be, yeah.
Okay, let's move to the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Hit me with that one.
Yeah, so finally Mickey Mouse
Your
arrives.
dream comes true.
Yeah, exactly. A little bait, a little switch, but not this time. So, yeah.
Well, BS, as we call it.
So yeah, Mickey decides that he wants to control the broom and all the buckets to help him fill water, and so he doesn't have to work. He falls asleep. Very famous scene of all the water coming into the place. Things are breaking, and Jensen, his master, finds
Disney
him.
backwards. Let's make sure, because I didn't realize that until.
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, Disney backwards, and he
Jensen.
had very similar eyebrows as well to Walt Disney. So there's some
Oh,
innuendos there.
whoa.
But
He's
yeah,
not a nice guy.
no, he's not.
Really
And
intimidating, frustrating
yeah,
wizard.
some aspects of that were for Walt as well. But
Goo.
hey, it's all right. It's all right.
Okay.
It's just extremely
Okay.
stable. So yeah, he ends up getting caught by the master and gets kind of shooed out. And that's pretty much it. It's
Yeah.
straightforward.
It's just it going wrong for him.
Yeah, I guess what is the moral of this specific story?
Oh my gosh. Let me think about that. The moral of the story is just the kind of thing that makes me feel directly triggered and targeted, which is don't be a greedy ass, or it will come back to bite you in the ass, I suppose. I could totally see me trying some stuff like Mickey did, and totally see me getting punished for it that way as well. It gave me real adult stress to watch that. And I'm not a stressful guy, but that's a panicky scene where you're just like, this could not get worse.
Yeah.
Do you agree? What do you think the moral is? I didn't think it was super deep. I just felt like it was, he bit off more than he could chew. He's not the wizard he wants to be yet. He's not Yen Sid.
Yeah. He definitely bit off more than he can chew. And yeah, nice. Pretty close.
Yeekum the wizard.
It was interesting watching our beloved Mickey Mouse make these types of mistakes, and it was very stressful.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the modern version is your inbox blowing up. You figured out a way to just mass send how to sell more of your product.
Right.
And everyone responded and forwarded
just
it to
way
you.
More than,
and
it's too much of a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's how techie of a world I live in. But that's what it reminded me of, that type of anxiety or stress of your inbox just completely blown up.
Yeah, but the inbox blowing up loses you customers. It doesn't kill you. You know what I mean?
No,
he was about to
doesn't.
die. Speaking of death, did you notice how grisly the murder scene of him with that broom was? He takes the axe.
Black
it's
and
all
white.
inferred. It's like a film noir all of a sudden, and it's it took me aback. For sure.
I know. I really do like this scene. There was also an aspect where I started thinking, how cool would it be, because there was so much water in the place, how cool would it be for 24 hours if your home could have half of from this floor to the ceiling, if half of it was filled up with water, and no damage would be done to the whole place.
God. Dude,
Can you imagine swimming from room to room? It'd be so cool.
Dude, when I was a kid, I used to close the shower, the glass shower door, and plug up the drain with shirts and stuff to try. In my head, I'm thinking, if I can fill up the entire shower, I could just swim in it like a aquarium tank, and it would look like it was working because it would be filling up, but so much of it would be going out into the bathroom, and my parents would come in. I was
18.
And they would come in and they'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Everything is covered in 6 inches of water. So yeah, I dream of that kind of stuff. And I do imagine if you could just do it damage free.
It'd be so cool.
So sick.
And you indoor pool that you can go from room to room.
Indoor house.
That's kind of what Mickey was experiencing, just on a very stressful level.
Dude, I think I would pay to go to not even a water park, but just a house you can swim through. That's a dream of mine, man. That's so good. Did you notice the crash that happens after this scene? And was it planned?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's a moment where someone drops something, and it's this big ruckus, and they move on to it and don't film it enough to where you feel it's one of those Instagram videos of someone doing something crazy, and you're sitting there
was that staged?
Because it seems authentic enough, but I couldn't tell. What's your opinion of that?
Well, what's funny about this movie being by far the longest Disney movie still to this day.
Feels like about double.
It's not even close. It's hilarious because there have never been more glaring moments that could and should be cut than that is a legitimate blooper, and it's a shoo-in to be cut.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they? I loved it personally.
But in the intro, as people they're just kind of gathering themselves to get to the orchestra and get their instruments set up and testing it. There are just so many of these scenes where they could easily cut out at least 15 minutes of it. They just did not care about how long this was at all. And again, I almost respect it. At least do it once in your life, but not the model I enjoy. It's just so much content that's not needed.
It is a lot. But it's those moments, and there's one other one that's kind of feels informal. I like that more than I think they would even have intended. I think it does add some character, but I think it also just adds a little bit of humanity to where it feels like it's like seeing your teacher at the store for a second. You know what I mean? Where it's like, you don't just do really bougie, hyper intellectual shit. You
Yeah.
actually live a real life. That was a good thing for me. The next one you'd think would have been a huge one for me because there was a big dinosaur boy as a child. But what happens in that next one? Because that one's it's different than the trailer would show.
Yeah, it's the history of the world according to science, and they say it multiple times as
Yeah, they
well
really
to just
hammer that
cover their
home.
ass. But yeah, it's a lot of volcanoes. The Earth is certainly going through some transformational points, and you get introduced to dinosaurs. You got all different types. They're enjoying themselves. You're kind of getting introduced to them. And then a T-Rex comes. There's a big battle, big fight. And then it just kind of continues evolving into other species as well. And just the evolution of the world in all of these different beautiful scenes throughout the picture there. So knowing that you're a big dinosaur fan, I have to ask, what about this, because you just alluded to it, what about this did you not enjoy or did you not connect with as much as you would think based on the topic?
Yeah, for me, it was one of those moments I'm not proud of where you feel like, am I stupid, like as a person? I was writing down in my notes, I was like, the first part before the dinosaurs was just so long, and then paused and was like, is that because they wanted it to be like the real history of the Earth, as according to science, was a long time before that too? Like the evolution of everything up to dinosaurs. I'm sitting there, mouth frothing, saying, "Get to the dinosaurs! Like, let's see them." The problem with this one was he spoiled everything. Slugworth just said every single thing that was about to happen. Dude, if I didn't know dinosaurs were coming, I would have been like, where are we going with this? But he says dinosaurs. I'm like, dude, get to it. Like, we all know what we want to see. Those bullies and gangsters that you talked about.
Yep.
And I felt like it just dragged on. So that one alone has to be like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
At least
I think it
feels
was like
it.
23 or 24 minutes.
Which is crazy. There's probably like 7 minutes of dinosaur in that.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
less.
this is why Fantasia will have an aspect for everyone, though. This is the first time I've watched it where I was enthralled with
What?
the scene before the dinosaurs, the volcano
Oh,
and
man.
all of the lava. It's I can't even explain it.
All of
I
that lava?
truly feel like
I love
you
it.
can be in a certain mood and certain scenes will stick out more than others. Like
Yeah.
I could watch this tomorrow and be completely glazed over in that section,
Does
but
that
find
make
something
this
else really
the best
interesting.
movie? It
No.
might. That's
No,
an amazing
no,
quality.
it doesn't make
We
it the
don't-
best movie.
Is Fantasia the best Disney movie?
No. All of those
That's
movies
going to be the
behind
title
you
of
are
this
offended,
episode. Is
please, and myself,
Fantasia the
and
best
generations of
Disney
my
movie?
family, please. The animation with the lava, I know it
It's
sounds
sick.
silly, but
Oh,
I
it's
can't
cool.
believe that we went from Pinocchio to this. And
That's a great point to keep in mind.
anytime a scene stood out to me, I just kept putting myself in 1940, how incredible this must have been.
How the hell would a kid watch this, though?
Well, now we'll jump into it. What is the target market? Who is this intended for?
I feel like it's smarter people than me in 1940. Like, I think it's like upper class intellectuals that just want to see technology on display in a way that they will appreciate. So it's a variety of weird topics that you can get behind, some little ones that are kind of, we're having fun with this. But
Yep.
generally, I think this is for like a intellectual adult crowd in 1940. Would you disagree?
I'm trying to think.
But it's
Like,
Disney, man. So
there's
you'd
nothing
think that
even
it's for
close
someone
to
else.
this in today's world, like how
No.
different this must have been. But think about Avatar, and it doesn't even come close.
Dude,
But
Avatar was sick, dude. What are you talking about?
it was good. But
I loved that.
even if you didn't really like the movie, and you didn't have to be smart by any means,
So you
it
hate
was
Pocahontas?
so
Is that what you're saying?
eye-opening
Yeah.
that because it's something you've never seen before, whether you like the story or not, that's not really the point.
I see what you're saying. It's a good
It puts
point.
a lot less pressure on them to make these succinct or entertaining because the medium that they're showing these images are things that they've never seen before.
Yeah, no, I guess that makes sense. One thing that we saw more than once, did you notice when the T-Rex and the other dinosaur are fighting and he dies like 4 different times where they show the tail fall and then they show his head fall and his eyes close and then the tail fall again and then his head fall again. I was like, this thing's been dead for like 10 minutes. What are you trying to prove?
It needs to fit within the song, okay? And if there are different climaxes of the song, then it's got to keep rolling, all
Dude, I'll
right?
tell you something I would like to sequel. More dinosaur content from Disney. I would have loved that. I would have eaten that up. Why did they not go dinosaur route?
Steven Spielberg beat them to it with Land Before Time.
Land Before Time was
Him
so
and Don
real.
Bluth.
Yeah.
We'll
DB.
get into that in like 5 years in real
The
time.
DB himself.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move to there's legitimately an intermission, which is how I know this isn't for children. And then when they come back, there's like he like builds up this character that he's about to introduce and he makes it seem super mystical and cool. And it turns out to just be a line that depicts sound called the soundtrack. He talks to it like very cool. Add a soundtrack. And what's else he say? Drop the other shoe, will ya? And it's very like
with the brass.
Yeah, and he's still got that creepy confidence. But then you move into, I don't want to be also creepy confident, but the Pastoral Symphony, which is probably the coolest one ever because it starts off with a bunch of topless centaurs that are all like foxy. You can't say otherwise, but it's in a weird situation. I don't even really know how to describe it. They all get matchmakered up with their Tinder boyfriends of the other centaurs, and then Zeus comes and completely destroys the party after some completely drunk guy rolls up on Lampwick, especially as a donkey, and it's pretty much just Zeus being a dick, creating a thunderstorm, and everyone running and hiding from him, and that's it. It's set to beautiful music, but the content, there's Pegasus, there's cherubs, there's centaurs, there's Greek gods, there's Zeus in his real form of being just a complete asshole rather than how he's depicted in Hercules later on. Here's my question. Would you reckon, like, there's children running around, but it's depicting it as if there's kids or these centaurs and centaurettes are meeting for the first time. Do you think there's a chance that it's like they're already all couples since they match each other perfectly and this is all just a role play thing that they do? Or do you think this is like some sort of inbreeding? Or do you think that this is just an authentic, we found each other, we're 2 different clans of single gender centaurs and centaurettes. Lucky we have the same amount. How'd you take that? Did you look into that at all like I did?
No, of course not. I think now that you're asking it though, I think it seemed planned.
It seems planned, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I think so too. To me, it feels like how every frat guy feels like his party's going to go, where it's just like there's the exact number of girls for every guy. It takes about 40 seconds for all of them to be like, aha, and then they just are off to their own lonesome. It was just, I'm looking at these cherubs saying, what do they get out of this? You know what I mean? Like they're like their little like friends, little matchmaker friends. They're doing the girl's hair. They're doing everything, making sure all the loose ends are tied up. What in this world does their joy come from? Or is it simply helping? Who knows? What'd you think of this chapter altogether? You can't tell me that you didn't find the centaurettes kind of attractive.
Did not. But
yeah, keep drinking, Buttercup.
Because you're a cherub, dude.
No, this is probably my least favorite chapter, actually. Whoa. You know how there's just certain genres that you become more interested in or less? There's some people who really enjoy Westerns and other people who will fall asleep in 5 seconds. I feel that way about like centaurs and this. Even the art as well. Like when I go to like a art museum, the babies and angels and I don't know why. It kind of like creeps me out.
It is creepy.
It's a weird,
100% with you.
It's a weird thing. So like anytime I've seen Fantasia, this scene will come on and it's an uphill battle.
I totally agree. One thing I don't want to skip over is right after the intermission, which is weird to have. Let's just pause that and say, what? But the jam session, did you notice that? Where they all come out and some guy starts laying down a sassy rhythm, and then
Yeah.
other guys start getting in. When you've got musical prowess, you can just jump into stuff like that. But then like they have another one of those crash moments where the Slugworth comes back in, or Slughorn comes back in. He's like, what are y'all doing while I'm away? Like the cat's away, eh? And comes back and they're all like, oh no, boss is back. And they stop. Was that planned? Or is this the same kind of thing? That's got to be planned, right?
I don't know. I don't know. It's a good
Is Fantasia the best Disney movie?
but it's a good question though, of like how much of it was just intentional and not. It seems like it was an actual blooper
Yeah, I love
that
that.
they just kept in.
As far as the centaurs, besides the actual centaurs part of it, the scene of them, what did you feel? Did you like it? It made me feel very, very single, is what it made me feel.
That's one way of looking at it. I really enjoyed the end, and actually, this was the part when I was like, you know what, people would
When
start.
it ended.
Yeah, exactly. When it was completely done. No, when they go out to that little pointed rock and they're looking at the sun, in my mind, that was when I got the idea that at this point in the Christmas party, in my mind, this would be the point that people would actually start like gravitating towards it, and sound would come on about this time, and they'd finish the movie.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. I love that. That dream you've put out is a good one. I could just see it going wrong so many times. It's like, why is no one watching Fantasia? They're supposed to be looking at this part. Like complain to your girlfriend that night.
Yeah,
If you'd been serving hors d'oeuvres at the same time that the centaurs were going to the pointed rock, people would have been interested. We've had a great night. Do you think I had this planned?
Oh, yeah, no. Let me pause it during the intermission. Jeez.
It's supposed to be 7 minutes, but yeah, we'll wait another hour.
You guys are definitely going to be wanting to watch this later, so I'll just pause it here. No worries. You guys just go back and do what you're doing. Yeah, I don't know. The boozy guy who comes in is just like being
This all
celebrated.
creeps me out.
It is creepy. I get that.
I just don't really enjoy this world.
I'm with you. I'm going to go through the next one, which is a higher note for sure. It's the Dance of the Hours. It's a bunch of different dancers that are representing the different hours of the day, from, dawn, afternoon, early evening, nighttime, whatnot. It's the most awesome banger of this whole film. It's weird flamingos, hippos, elephants, crocs, all doing ballet in a very intentionally comedic and successfully comedic way, I think. One of my favorite ones. My question is, there's a little bit of a narrative. I don't really know exactly what it is, but at the end, the croc kind of seems to be either carnally, like I want to eat this hippo, or kind of sexually interested in the hippo as well. Like, I like what I see. And, danger turns to, the kind of danger where you kiss. Tell me this. Here's my question for you. If there was a play going on at your school, which part of this ballad would you audition for? And then which one do you think that you would get cast for if those are different? I'll go first to give you an idea. I think I would audition for lead crocodile because I love what that guy's about, but I could 100% see me being one of the elephants that just blows bubbles and gets it stuck on their feet, and just being a part of that. I have one that I think for you for sure, but I'd love to hear what you think about yourself.
Yeah, I could see being like a backup croc, but I don't have a lot of confidence in myself in high school.
I just love that sentence so much. This is the best podcast. I could see me being a backup croc. Yeah.
I'm all fine with being one of the what was it, ostriches?
Flamingos, I think. Or is it an ostrich?
No, it is an ostrich. Yeah, you almost screwed me up on it. Yeah,
Really?
it's an
Right,
ostrich
it is
at the
an
very
ostrich.
beginning.
I've been
But
writing.
yeah, it's supposed to be a
Flamingos all
more
the
like
time.
feminine role, but I think it could be either one.
I think you can nail it. And I saw you being a flamingo as well.
Yeah, see, I'll take it.
Even though they're not in it, it's just ostriches.
Yeah, exactly. It's an ostrich, right?
The flamingos
Look
are
up
doing
the
set
pamphlet. It
design.
says my name next to the ostrich.
I could see you
Flamingo.
being an ostrich for sure. I loved this one. This is the funniest one. This is when I could imagine the kids be like, yeah, You know what I mean? This is the one that I think would bring the people home being like, well, that one was funny.
It's when the sound's on at the party.
Yeah,
This is it.
as it should be.
Yeah.
It's not like you
Again,
haven't thought about it, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Again, though, this one is never memorable to me, but it's beautiful that you love this so much.
The best part
Like-
of the entire best movie in Disney, Fantasia 1940, is when that hippo is running and does a huge building-sized Superman leap to him trying to do the dirty dancing and just crushes him, man. I laughed out loud watching that. You don't expect it from a movie
No,
that's
no,
done
you
this
don't.
to you. And it's just this large swan dive into a crushing. And it's so well timed. I needed that at that time, and they knew it, I think.
Mm.
Tell me you didn't love that.
No, I did. I enjoyed that the different chapters, for some different reasons, they had more of an interest than others for
Mm.
each other.
Yeah, no,
like-
for sure.
That is what Fantasia is. It's like a catch-all, and you will find some aspects that you really enjoy, and you need those points to keep you going, man.
I
You
totally
need the
agree.
gas station on this
it was
long
the gas station on the
cross-country
mountain
journey.
highway for
Because
sure.
yeah, if you don't have it, there's some
you will break
parts where
down.
you don't see a gas station for quite a long time.
100% breakdown. Speaking of, let's get to the end of the journey. Why don't you take us to A Night on Bald Mountain?
Yeah, would love to.
Would you though?
Yeah, I would actually. Yeah, big villain fan over here. So there's a small little town, and it's the night of Halloween,
Is it?
and yeah, it is. They say at the beginning.
Oh, that makes a
Listen up.
lot more sense contextually.
So the mountain ends up bringing up Chernobog, which is this huge.
Satan.
Yeah, he's basically Satan with these big wings, and he is taking, what do you think of this, souls or people from
That's
the
a good
town
question
and
to
bringing
talk
them.
about.
Yeah, we'll
Are
talk
they-
about that in a
Are
moment.
they dead souls or are they evil people? You know what I mean? Some of them are going through the noose, which I thought was very cool and scary. Like their spirits are going through the noose, so it's implying that they got hung for some reason. Maybe they're the criminals.
I think
the
it's
ones
anyone
in
who's having
hell?
a nightmare.
Ooh, that's even cooler. A little conspiracy corner from Jay's section over there.
Yeah,
Not bad. A Halloween nightmare brings you to the eternal
Exactly.
damnation of Chernobog.
and so he brings them all up, and they're dancing, and it's just pretty much a scene depicting hell with fantastic music.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's church bells that ring, and he realizes that he needs to go back to bed for another 364 days.
Mm.
And he just collapses into the mountain in a really cool shot. And then the very last scene of the movie is the Ave Maria.
Ave
Maria? Ave
Ave
Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Beautiful
that
song.
beautiful song plays. And it's just
Classic.
kind of like a watercolor type scene that wraps up the movie.
Mm.
It's kind of, it ends quickly somehow for it being a 2-hour movie. But
I felt like that last scene goes on a long time.
yeah, but it's a long song.
It's
Exactly.
a beautiful song. I don't care who you are, what your religious status is. That's a beautiful song, I think, to any human.
It is.
It is.
So where does Chernobog, where would he not necessarily rank, but where does he fit into your villain catalog? Like,
It's sad, isn't it? Because he is literally the epitome of evil. He is, in my opinion, the way I took it is he's Satan. He's the devil. You know what I mean? So there's really should be no villain above him. But the screen time and the conflict that he brings is just not bringing enough heat to even duel Cruella. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he hasn't been represented very well in the parks. There is a video game. You can fight him in like Kingdom Hearts, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
But there
you
was did you know there was a Fantasia video game in 1991?
I do.
Pulled off the shelves because of licensing problems.
Anytime you bring up a Disney video game,
You'll know?
the answer will be yes.
I
Yeah.
will test that. Let's just say.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's the worst ever. I guess is the best way to put it. He is the worst villain you could ever get. He's tormenting souls. He's making people dance in fire and creating them into fire. And there's literally no one who's got power like that in the Disney universe. But wow. And don't say Maleficent.
You know I'm going there.
She's not.
Dude,
He's the devil. But he's also done in by a couple church bells. So
yeah.
that's a tough one.
The flames just remind me so much of Maleficent
Dog,
anytime I see this.
Everything reminds you of Maleficent every time, so much times you see it. Yeah, dude. Shout out.
She's a babeaholic back there. Now, the two of them, I really think could have a relationship together. They both love fire.
They both love evil.
They love evil. They like the same real estate. They like being on scary mountains. They like torturing.
Love that.
That's
And he's
my
actually
sequel.
like, as far as
for
devils
sure.
go, he's cut, dude. He's
Give
got
him
his
a
shit
voice. Yeah, I don't think he's. Yeah, he's probably Satan. He's like in Super Smash Bros. How you can change like different colors for each character. Like his normal red. This is the blue version
That's
of
a
Satan.
good way to put it.
But him
I
and
feel like
Maleficent.
Who would wear the robe pants in that relationship? Would you reckon?
There's no way Maleficent is just like cooking eggs and just making the bed. All right, she would definitely wear the pants, and he would have to bow down. She would ring the damn bell, and he would lose all of his power and just
Going to that flying V.
a beezy. Yeah,
You
he'd be
reckon
done.
a beezy?
Chernabog the Beezy, dude. I heard you got whipped, man.
Maleficent's got you on a tight leash, dog. Does she move to the mountain, or does he move into her place? How does that work?
He doesn't have crap. That's why she's got more money. Yeah, he would go.
More money.
He would go live with Maleficent. They both like henchmen as well. So like
Yeah?
all the henchmen would get
Oh,
together.
they would have that
and,
big fire
like,
party and
yeah,
whatnot.
exactly. So anyway, it's a thought.
That is something we'd like to. Or actually, I would never like to sequel that in my whole life. That's a terrifying prospect. But that is the definition of a power couple. But it's just a dark power couple.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good.
But then they both have great music attached to them as well. And
Did someone say music?
I did say music.
Jay, would you do me a personal favor, since we've been friends for a long time? Give us a little sweet segment of Music Time with Jay, the part of the podcast where Jay speaks about the real-life applications of the songs.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So
Is it Christmas Eve? Is the family just
not.
sat down to watch the
not.
the
It's
sound
not,
on?
not with this scary song. So the Chernabog song is the look it up because it will be better than this. But it's like dun, 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 dun. Everyone knows it.
Look
It's
it up because it'll
like
be better than this. But here we go. And a 3, 2, 1.
And then 1 and a 2 and I get my little
Oh my
thing or
god.
whatever out.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, exactly. So that song is just the epitome of evil, right?
Of course.
In the modern world, how I see this is in a high school, all right? You got a
Oh.
bully that no one can stand up to, and he's just
Oh.
a complete beezy.
Be-
And
That's Beezy, dude.
Run it back.
Chernabog's son, the also Beezy, dude.
He's got wings and stuff.
Yeah. Like a Beezy.
so everyone's like in the main common area coming in early high school morning. And when the bully walks in, another kid, perhaps one that's been bullied by this guy, plays that song for him, mocking
For
him.
him. Like saying,
You're not so tough. You're no Chernabog, you Beezy.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh,
Or
I
your
love that.
wings, dude.
won't you go
Yeah.
curl up into that mountain again? It's Halloween's
Exactly.
over, Beezy.
We all know Maleficent has the money.
2 in a row.
Hope she got a prenup, Beezy. pretty
Churn of
good.
Beezy.
That's good, dude. That's actually really good. Talk to me about your favorite scene, song, character, and quote from this. Did you have a favorite quote?
There wasn't one.
I have
Right.
one. It's when he's talking to the soundtrack. He goes, "Thanks a lot, old man." I said, "What are you trying to prove,
Oh yeah.
Slughorn?
Yeah,
Slugworth?
let the other shoe drop.
What is this?
I
Yeah, let the
guess.
other shoe drop was a good one too.
Yeah, I'm not using any of it in my normal day though. But
What's your favorite scene?
favorite scene is it's the one I will look up on YouTube randomly. It's the night on Bald Mountain.
Damn it. Slughorn is in Harry Potter. I'm
Hey,
thinking
hey,
Slugworth.
no spoilers, no spoilers. Cheers, man.
Sorry, man.
No
Sorry.
worries. Come
It's
on.
definitely Arthur Slugworth is who he looks like. And he looks exactly like him.
Oh,
So that's fair.
okay. Continue.
Okay.
Keep
Yeah,
moving.
so yeah.
Get away from it.
Favorite scene. What do you have?
I have Night on Bald Mountain
Psycho.
because I'm all into evil.
Who's your favorite character?
Mickey.
You sounded about 5 years
Then I
old
co-
right there.
And then I come
I don't
right
know,
back.
Mickey. Night on Bald Mountain, probably.
Yeah.
Favorite song?
Ooh. I'm gonna go Ave Maria. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm happy with it. So
Yeah.
that's whatever.
What about,
Mine had to be the Nutcracker Suite for the song.
mm,
The main croc, the guy I would try out for the
Smart.
character, I loved. My favorite scene, just I won't say the topless centaur babes, but I will say the dance of the hours, the croc scene where they get
wow.
he just gets crushed. I loved that. But you could actually substitute in the jam session, man. The jam session I thought was that one moment of the film where I was like, what's going on here? Like, how am I? And that makes it the best Disney film ever made, Fantasia, 1940. And then quote, thanks a lot, old man.
Losing all credibility by the
Yeah.
minute.
I can feel our stock price dropping. Let's get to our playground
Like
pick 'em.
Elon Musk smoking a joint. This is even worse. This is
You're
our
burning us
Fantasia
at
version.
both ends, Harrison. Hope you're having fun. What actor or actress would you like to see play the host of Fantasia, the one who Slugworth was playing?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first? Because
I do, 'cause I haven't
I'm
thought
gonna
about it.
end it. It's too. I should give you a chance, make you feel good about your answer.
Okay, I don't have a good one. I'll say I'd like Robert De Niro to play.
Oh.
I think Robert De Niro would do good. But like 10 years ago, let's say.
Yeah. What
Specifically
movie?
that one.
Yeah, like what movie of Robert De Niro?
You know what? If I'm going to have Godfather 2 on the line, I'm not going to say I don't want that one. I'm
Mm.
going to say Godfather, young Robert De Niro. That's
Yeah.
sick.
A young
actually.
Vito Corleone.
Yeah,
Knows
dude,
the
that's
best.
exactly who I want. That's who I want.
Mainly speaks Italian. Only knows a few words of English.
Next one we're going to go to. You're going to like it. Maybe you won't.
the
don't
guy
care.
the guy who dropped his instrument, he just comes up and takes the knife and
It's
cuts
okay.
up his gut.
Takes his flute and just kills him.
I'm
gonna kill him
gonna
with
make
his
him
own
enough.
flute.
He can't refuse.
Get the hell out of my orchestra. Okay, well, who do you got? Shut us
Wow,
down.
that's okay. That's better than I thought.
Yep.
And I know you love him as well, and you're not going to argue against this. Eddie Murphy.
Oh my God, this would actually make that movie good,
Yeah,
dude. If Eddie Murphy
Actually.
was the lead guy in this would be a completely different film
dude.
in every single way.
His comedy coming out of each scene and transitioning into the next one.
It's like watching like the Oscars or something. There's like gives you a reason to watch this.
Yeah, exactly. And
Oh man, yeah, you shut that one down. You're right.
it's like the Snoop Dogg had the animals that he'd comment, like the planet Earth
Ah, yeah.
animals, right? It's
Yeah.
like if you just are watching the animals, it's kind of boring.
There's some people.
But
who
if you
like
have
it,
a
there's some
great
people who won't.
personality, you can like really add a lot of concept to this.
It's a very
So-
good point.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Eddie
you
Murphy
nailed that. You win.
would just blow it away, and he did make some music as well. So it's not
Party all
like-
the time.
Yeah, that P-A-T-T.
Hell yeah, dude.
Still trying to get that going. 35
we'll,
years later.
We'll get it. We'll get it. Jay, was this one worth a rewatch? Would you say?
No. I
not a
really
ton
won't
of
watch
'em.
this for a long time.
There's not a ton
I'm
of
gonna
them. where
have
I'm
it
gonna
on
to
in
say
the
no.
background at Christmas Eve, but
Yeah,
other than that,
dude, we got to live stream that situation. That would be so good. If you've
what
never
about for you? When's the next time Harrison's gonna watch this movie in
Dude.
full?
No way. I don't know, man. 10 years when we do another round of this. That's about it. Like, I don't think I'll need to watch this again. Would you say it's worth a watch for someone who's never seen it before? I guess that's us. I'd say, man,
No.
no. I'm gonna say
No, I
no.
really wouldn't. It has to hit a very specific demographic that I would be like, you know what?
Unless
I
you're
think-
okay.
I think
here's
you
what I'll
will
say.
watch it. Like if you're really open-minded, maybe like looking for a relaxing night and like a little bit of like
Christmassy.
paraphernalia or something.
Yeah,
Like
That's true.
maybe,
actually,
you're
for
gonna fall-
sure. If that's
but
your
you're
night.
gonna fall asleep though.
Yeah,
It's
do
not.
it. Fall asleep to that. Have terrible dreams. Wake up at the Chernobog part.
Yeah,
think you're in
exactly.
hell.
That would wake you
Horrible.
up.
Horrible. Yeah. If you're a 1940s elder classman, yeah, go ahead and watch it. But if you're not, then I think you can skip it. Would you
Yeah.
show kids this film?
No,
I mean, what are they gonna do?
I wouldn't even give them a chance.
Would
They
you
will.
show them clips? Would you show them specific chapters?
I would show them the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that's it.
Did you
What
know that
about
they
you?
made a Sorcerer's Apprentice like movie or something like that called The Sorcerer's Apprentice about that?
A live action?
Yeah. And on the live action topic, did you know that apparently it's been announced that they are going to make a live action Night on Bald Mountain?
I'm in.
We knew you would be.
Really, I'm in. Think about what Disney did with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mhm.
It was a ride,
Yeah.
and they turned it into multiple movies.
That's
And,
true.
like, I think there is a cool concept about that, of taking something like super small
Mhm.
in
And
one of these
making it
older movies
huge.
and making
Totally.
much more into
You're not
it.
wrong. Jay,
I'm more
let's give
interested
a-
in that than like a Lady and the Tramp version of Lady and the Tramp.
You're not far off. Let's give
Yeah.
a toast to this movie. What do you got?
I actually don't have a drink in front of me. What about a flashlight?
Flashlight works. Yeah. I was
All
gonna
right,
say,
sick.
you know the old saying: if you can't
Yeah,
have a drink to
exactly.
toast, get a
How much
flashlight.
have you been drinking, sir?
Oh, enough to watch Fantasia. I'm gonna say to Fantasia, because literally, why the hell not? You gotta toast it. Tink.
Yeah.
What do you got? Drink your batteries.
Yeah, and eat your watermelon. Now, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna go with to the movie that pushed boundaries so much further than they ever should have, and I don't particularly enjoy it, but I respect the hell out of it. Fantasia.
Well played. Drink it. Well, that brings us to the end. We've made it, Jay, to the end of Fantasia, the end of the review. What's our next movie?
Yeah, so next we got a little movie called Dumbo.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Different direction. let's
Very different
say that.
direction.
And it's like 58 minutes long as well. You could watch Dumbo twice, and it's
You
still
could watch Fantasia 1.5 times.
Yeah.
And watch Dumbo. So
Yep.
it's really ooh.
at
Uh,
the intermission.
Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time for Dumbo. This has been the Disney Podclassics. I appreciate you so much. I almost feel scared to say it. Is Dumbo the cutest Disney character ever? And if not,
Mm.
tell me who's cuter than Dumbo.
Wow.
I
Wow, what a
actually
question.
have spent some time thinking about it, and I cannot think of one character that I found to be more cute than Dumbo. He is
What
adorable.
Dumbo has going is that